Welcome back to the Infinity Travel AZ Studios. Today I have Brianna with me from Kensington Tours. How are you, Brianna?
Hi, Cindy. Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
I'm fabulous. We've had kind of snow, or not snowy, rainy weather, and it's so
Yeah.
sunny outside today. It's beautiful. So I'm
Clearly,
happy.
yes, clearly that's you can see from my windows. We've also had a beautiful day today, which is so nice because we've also had a couple of days of rain, and then yesterday we got absolutely killed with this big storm blizzard and tons of snow. So I was super happy to wake up today with lots of sun shining from my windows.
Sunshine.
So yeah,
Yeah,
we all
sunshine's a
need
beautiful thing.
it.
Makes me happy.
Yes, and we all need it a lot more these days, don't we? So,
Absolutely, absolutely. So Brianna is going to give us a presentation on Kensington Tours and tell us what they're all about. So take it away.
perfect. Okay, let me go ahead then and share my screen and we will get started. So I wanted to, like Cindy said, I just wanted to give you a bit of an idea about Kensington Tours, who we are, what we do, and why we could possibly be a really great fit for you and your next vacation whenever we're all ready to hit the ground running again. So I'm going to keep it short and brief. I don't want to go on too long about things that aren't pertinent to you and your specific case for later on when you're getting ready to travel down the road, but I want to give you an idea of what a trip with us could look like. So just a quick little agenda of what we're going to go over today. So I'm going to talk about, who am I? Who is Brianna? Why do you care? Let's talk about it. Who is Kensington Tours and what we do? What you can expect when you travel on a Kensington Tours trip, and last but not least, let's do a little inspiration and end on a really high note about the types of experiences that you could go and do and see over in Europe. So I am Brianna Krieger. I am a sales lead and a destination expert for Kensington Tours. I've been born and raised in Canada all my life, but I did live in southern Germany. My fiance is German, born and raised, and we actually met traveling in New Zealand of all places. So I went and lived with him in Europe. So Europe is very near and dear to my heart, not only just because of myself living there, but I also have European family heritage. I'm German, Polish, Swedish, and English. So I just kind of, Europe has just kind of taken over all aspects of my life. I'm very passionate about anything that has to do with it, really, the food, the cobblestone streets, and I really love showing my clients off the beaten path experiences that you're not going to get in a standard tour where you're with a big group. So I've been with Kensington for 4 years, and I'll get into this a little bit more later about what a destination expert is and what we do. But the countries that I specialize in are Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Czech Republic, Hungary, Slovakia, Spain, and Northern Italy. So a big handful there. But what about Kensington Tours? So who are we and what do we do? So we customize private guided travel. So everything about your trip is going to be tailor made to you. You don't have set departures. You can leave the States and come home whenever it is that you like. You visit the cities that you like. You stay in the types of hotels that you like to stay in, right down to like the type of the style of the hotel, even what kind of room category you want. Everything about it is going to be tailor made for you, right down to the types of tours that you experience when you're in destination. So if you've got, a really big interest in history or food or wine or photography, everything that we do on that trip can be completely tailor made for you. So we work on 6 out of the 7 continents, and we operate in over 100 countries worldwide now. So pretty much anywhere that you can think of almost that you want to go, we can do it. So on this next slide here, Cindy, I'm hoping that this works, but I'd like to play a short little video for you all to give you an idea of what Kensington Tours is.
Sounds good. Looks like it's going to work.
Perfect. I love that video. Anytime I watch it, it doesn't matter how many times I've seen it, it just gives me the strongest like wanderlust for traveling, and I can't wait to hit the road again.
No kidding. Especially a lot of Africa in there. That was cool.
Yes, yes. So I'll get into this a little bit more later. But we actually started as a safari company.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah. So the CEO of our company, Jeff Wilner, he was born and raised in Africa. His family worked there. And did a lot of volunteer work there. So it's very, very near and dear to his heart, everything about Africa. And a lot of our charity work is geared towards Africa as well, and building schools for girls and things like that. So we started at a kitchen table as a safari operator and have now grown to what we are today. So
Very cool.
Africa, yeah, Africa's a big part of that. So I wanted to kind of paint a picture essentially of if you were to do a Kensington Tours trip, what you would receive. So when you're working with us, you're going to have about 4 major benefits: personalized journeys, expert planning, local guides, and unbeatable support. And so what does this mean? So let me break it down. Personalized journeys. Every single one of our clients' journeys begins with a conversation. So no 2 trips are the same. There are no fixed dates or schedules. You get to choose when you travel. You'll escape the tour bus crowds and explore on your own, like on your own terms, departing and returning home whenever you choose. Everything about your trip is going to be completely customized for you, like I talked about before. So everything from your hotels to the locations that you visit and the tours that you will experience when you're there, even right down to the pace with which you travel. You know, if you are the type of client who really likes to get your sleep ins in the morning and just have one half day tour that day and have rest of your time to explore, great. Or if you like to be go, go, go all the time, full days of tours every single day, this is all customizable and created and curated just for you. So number 2 is expert planning. So our destination experts, like myself, are people with deep and local knowledge of the areas that we represent, having lived, worked, or traveled extensively throughout that region. So we only specialize in the handful of countries to ensure that we know everything about them like the back of our hands. So like I told you about earlier, how the countries that I work in, that I specialize in. I lived in Germany. I've traveled throughout those regions extensively, and I know them backwards and front. I know where you should stay and where you should eat. Eat at different restaurants and the hidden gems and things like that. And while I have been to Sri Lanka. I've been all around Sri Lanka. I've been all around the entire country, and I loved my trip there, and I know that very well. If Cindy picked up the phone and gave Kensington Tours a call and said, I wanted to plan a trip to Sri Lanka, I'm not going to do that for her. Even though I know it very well, I am not an expert in that region. I will only curate trips for the countries of which I have an expertise. So you have a lot of peace of mind knowing that your trips are planned by proper experts. We also travel regularly to the countries of our expertise, and we individually vet each and every activity and accommodation and experience that are featured within our product offering to ensure that we know how it operates and can speak to it personally, but also to ensure that they're up to our standards for our clients. So if we are doing another trip and realize that something, maybe a hotel, and we're doing a site inspection at a hotel and realize that they are just not up to our standards anymore, we will remove that hotel from our product offering and will no longer offer it to clients. The third one is local guides. And this is one of my favorite parts about Kensington, in that we work exclusively with local English speaking guides, not just in each region, but typically in each town and in each city. So when you have a private guide that is a true local, do you really get to unlock some of the secrets of that city, like where to find the best woodworking shop or which cafe offers the best cherry tart in town. So dependent on wherever you're traveling, anytime you move from city to city, you will likely have a different guide throughout the way. And we often also cater that guide to the specific tour and experience that you are about to have. So if you're looking for a historian or a foodie, or maybe you're a family and you'd like to have a guide who is excellent with children, we will hand select them to further enhance your experience. And then lastly, for our guides, they go through a very strong vetting process and training to ensure that they reflect the expectations of North American travelers. And lastly, number 4, your trip is our responsibility. So you can travel with the peace of mind knowing that Kensington Tours offers 24-hour in-destination support once you hit the road. So what I mean by in-destination support is that we have a local team in each of the countries that our clients travel to. And when you hit the road, you'll receive the phone numbers for that team that you can speak to while you're in the country. So right before you travel, I would be in contact with Cindy and I would be giving her your final documents, and your final documents would include the phone numbers for each of the country that you're going to be in. Those phone numbers include a business hours phone number for when our local teams are in the office, and then also a 24-hour emergency contact information. So if you are, if it's 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. in the morning, let's say, and 7 a.m. in the morning and you're in Europe, it's the middle of the night over here in North America. Cindy's sleeping, I'm sleeping. We might not get your call if you call us. So if there's an emergency, you get to pick up the phone and call our country that is located right there in that particular country that you're in, and who is going to be able to help you immediately and solve whatever it is that you're calling about. And then you'll also have access to our Kensington Tours app while you travel. So those final documents that I discussed, all of your itinerary, that will all be accessible at your fingertips. Those emergency numbers as well are at your fingertips in that app. So they can be clicked with a click of a button. So you're able to pull up your itinerary and everything that you need in just a moment when you're on the road. So we are very invested in the trips that we plan. So you know what, if you're unhappy, you let Cindy know and we will make it right.
You guys are amazing in my book.
Thank you. Thank you, Cindy. I can't wait until, like we were talking about before, I can't wait until all of this becomes at least what we would call a new normal. It's really exciting for us every day to be able to plan our clients' trips, but truly when everybody is actually on the road and is finally able to see and experience all of those things that we plan for them, because planning trips takes a long time, right? It's a big investment, right? It takes us a long time to plan out that perfect experience. So when clients finally are able to go and do everything that we planned and they're just so happy about it, it's a very, very satisfying feeling for us as well, isn't it?
Well, and being kind of the middleman, oh my gosh, it's amazing. When you wow my clients like you have, it's the best feeling in the world. It really is.
Oh, good. I love that. I love having you guys happy as well. That's and when everybody comes out on the other side smiling, you know that is the perfect trip well done.
Absolutely. So. Absolutely.
Well, on that topic, I did want to just kind of run through a couple of industry accolades. And this is where I was going to, explain in a little bit more detail that we are about 14 years old now, and we did start as that safari provider. So we're not, that old in terms of the travel industry, but in that short time, we have worked our way up to some bigger and better things. So you can see now that we started only as a safari tour operator, and now all of a sudden we're in 6 out of 7 continents and over 100 countries worldwide. So we've moved up rather quickly, and our tours have won awards from National Geographic, Condé Nast, Ensemble Vacations, and Travel and Leisure. So you can enjoy the trust behind the brand and know that you are in excellent hands.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
And on the same topic of trust as well, I really wanted to include this slide because reviews from fellow travelers have never been more important than they are right now.
Right.
Travel is an investment, and it can be a once in a lifetime experience for some people. So if you are, ever talking with Cindy about Kensington and considering a Kensington tour, I strongly encourage you to check out what people are saying about us on Trustpilot. Trustpilot is a consumer review website that actually allows us to respond to reviews and figure out, what's going on. And we boast a 4.8 score out of 5 out of about 900 reviews or so on there. So we are thrilled about that. And of course, I've got Cindy here saying that she's had some great experiences. So what better review is there than that?
Well, I'll talk about it when I see another slide.
Yes, exactly. We'll get there. So before that, I also wanted to go through, Cindy, you and I have talked about this, is that, with the travel industry has to adapt to what is going on in the world, right? So what we have come out with is a book risk-free guaranteed. So originally we had, previous terms and conditions on our trip, and we've switched them over currently to these terms and conditions for 2021 travel. So essentially what this means is that, if you are interested in possibly hitting the road in 2021, but you're a little bit nervous, you don't really know what that's going to look like, we don't know when countries are going to open, you can at least start that process and get that trip booked without worry and have the peace of mind, because you can change your mind for any reason all the way up until 7 days before you depart. So what this means is you've got a couple of different options if you were to move forward and with booking a trip and we're not quite sure if that trip is going to be able to travel the way that we had planned it. So we've improved our cancellation terms. So now if you are looking at fully canceling that trip and you just want your money back, as long as we are outside of 90 days before your trip was meant to travel, that trip is 100% fully refundable. There are no cancellation fees or anything like that. So if you book a trip in December and this summer you realize that you just don't want to go anymore, maybe it's not even COVID related, something happened and you're unable to travel, you can cancel that trip absolutely free of charge. If you want to hang on to it for a little bit longer and we get closer to the date and you hit the range of being within 30 to 89 days of your trip, it does become 25% non-refundable. However, you'll see on the next little bullet point there that all the way up until 7 days before you depart, you can cancel for a 100% future travel credit so that we can protect your investment. So what that means is that you can cancel that trip and take a future travel credit, or we can take your trip and move it to a new date free of charge. There would be no change fees, no increase in costs or anything like that. So you really have all the way up until 7 days, everything about your trip is flexible for you. And if you're not able to go, we can look at what makes the most sense for you, whether it just be cancel it for now and take your full credit and come back and rebook down the road, or rebook that trip or a completely different trip. You don't have to rebook the same trip that you were taking before. You can take that credit and decide, you know what, I'm no longer comfortable going to Europe in the near future. I'd like to take my money and put it towards a North America trip instead, or a Caribbean trip instead. You can absolutely do that all the way up until 7 days before you depart. And air coverage is actually included in this offer as long as it's booked through Kensington Tours and as long as it is an operator that has partnered with us on this endeavor. So that would be American Airlines, British Airways, Iberia, Qantas, Japan Airlines, and Finnair as well. So some exclusions would apply to this. There will be a couple of circumstances where if you're booking an event where tickets are 100% non-refundable, we might tell you that in advance so that you are aware of that before you would move forward with booking. But other than that, a couple of exclusions that will absolutely be communicated to you in advance. Everything is going to be flexible all the way up until 7 days before you depart. So I hope that gives, I hope that gives everybody a little bit of peace of mind that if you do want to get traveling and hit the road, let's go ahead and get that trip confirmed for you so that you have the hotels that you want. You have the tours that you want. We can choose the best guides for you in advance, and you are getting everything confirmed a little bit more ahead of the masses that are just waiting for that ball to drop, because once that ball drops, everything is going to be quite chaotic.
It's going to be a free for all.
Exactly. So we'll go from being, a little bit more quiet to it'll be very, very chaotic, and there's certainly no guarantees that you're going to get what you want.
Exactly.
And Cindy, you and I will be very busy ladies once that ball actually drops.
Yes, we will.
Yes. So if you are interested in, something really specific, hopefully this gives you the peace of mind to go ahead and at least get started on your planning right now.
I agree.
Yeah. And on other things that you can expect now in terms of pivoting with what the world looks like now, and that is our Safe Travel Certified program. So our first priority is always to make sure that we are protecting the health and safety of our clients and our local teams. So as travel resumes, we've implemented a new set of standards that are specific and stringent precautions that ensure a positive travel experience for our clients and a safe working environment for our local teams and our hotel partners as well. Because now more than ever, we believe that custom private guided travel is the right choice versus, opting for those groups. So here's a couple of things you can expect. We are monitoring the well-being of our guides and our drivers in advance, and we have mandated regular temperature checks to ensure that they are healthy when you come into contact with them. They will wear gloves and masks and maintain appropriate social distancing during their time with you. And we will also make sure that you always have access to hand sanitizer and masks as well. Our private vehicles are thoroughly sanitized prior to each and every tour and transfer. We're committed to ensuring that each vehicle will be stocked with gloves and hand sanitizer and masks so that, again, you have access to this at all times. And in addition to providing our private guided experiences, we're also going to be using more of a away from the crowds approach for entering any attractions and sites. So by focusing on those off-peak hours and access, we'll be able to, our clients are going to be able to enjoy those big key sites and attractions with a little bit more comfort and ease and less people breathing down your neck. And beyond our always careful selection of hotel partners, we are very much committed to delivering our guests only to properties that have rolled out their own comprehensive and elevated standards for cleaning rooms and operating their dining spaces and their common areas and administrative services. So again, this is where having those hand-selected partners that we know are going to keep you safe is key here.
Right.
And as discussed with our Book with Confidence guarantee, you'll have the flexibility to make those itinerary changes up until 7 days prior to your departure. So if there's something that you realize, this isn't something, I still want to go on this trip and I still want to do all of these things, but this particular tour, I don't want to visit this place, it's just a little bit too busy, we can swap that out for something different and amend your tour. And while you're traveling as well, our guides can always make changes on the fly to ensure that the sightseeing and the activities that you are doing are delivered safely at your preferred pace with your comfort in mind. And rest assured that wherever you are planning your trip, that Cindy and Kensington will be up to date on the situation that is happening on the ground. And during your journey, we're always, our staff is always going to be available around the clock with that 24-hour in-destination support. They're going to be able to make changes and answer any questions that you have and provide in-the-moment support should you ever require it. And we're also proud to announce that we've received the Safe Travel Stamp of approval from the World Travel and Tourism Council, or the WTTC. The WTTC has worked with health experts, governments, and other members of the travel industry to improve and regulate effective protocols for the safety and well-being of both travelers and workers. So with this stamp of approval from them, you can be confident that you are in good hands.
Exactly. They've been busy.
They have, I'm sure. That's not a job I'd personally want right now. So
Yeah.
we're just happy to get the stamp.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in their shoes right now.
No, but they're making it better for us. So that's
Exactly. That's all we can ask. So something else I wanted to talk about is our very exciting new partnership. So our goal really is just to help our clients connect with the world in a meaningful way. So naturally, we're very excited to be able to introduce our new personal heritage journeys that are in partnership with Ancestry. And this came out back in November. So with this partnership, your experience would be deeply curated around your family history that we, along with Ancestry, can help you discover. So the way this, I'm not sure if you actually heard about this yet, Cindy.
no, I looked through your deck yesterday and I didn't even zone in on this. So
Yes.
I'm excited. This is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it's brand new. And it's kind of a little bit unprecedented. They don't partner with any other travel or tour operator, and we've done lots of ancestry trips in the past before, right? It's not hard to plan a trip around ancestry in the sense that if you know what it is that you're looking for, like those are the clients who've already done all that research themselves, and they know the towns that they wanted to go to, and they just wanted to go and see a cemetery and things like that. We've done that before, but having the opportunity to partner with Ancestry is incredible. Because so the way that this is going to work is that this time around, you'd let us know that you're looking to explore your family heritage and you're looking to go a little bit more in depth. And then we can actually enlist the help of Ancestry with differently detailed packages. So the packages would be called silver or bronze, silver, or gold. Each package will have a tiered price and would be based around how many hours of pre-trip research that you would require a genealogist to assist with. So they're going to be the ones who are actually putting in all of the work for you to do all of that detailed research, and they can come back and tell us exactly where it is that you need to go and what we need to plan your trip around and where. And then we even have the opportunity to add on experiences in destination with a professional genealogist as opposed to just like a local guide. So it's just steps beyond what we even used to be able to offer, and it's family heritage is a very personal matter and a personal thing, and these trips about those things, they mean a lot to people. So we're so pleased to be able to have this partnership and just completely elevate that experience for the clients who are looking to do something like this. So
do you work with them globally? Worldwide you'll do?
So we're working on it. We've started with a couple of destinations in Europe, like Germany, Italy, Scotland, Ireland, the UK. We first started with countries that we get the most, or we've had the most need for in the past. So we're starting there, and slowly but surely we are working our way towards global. That said, if anybody has a country that they have heritages that they want to explore, come to us, because while we might not have done it quite yet before, we can reach out to Ancestry and see what they're able to offer us for that destination. So it's eventually we'll get to and having stuff already figured out for that, but it's certainly something that we can do now, even if we have the request for it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that are really into the genealogy. So this is an amazing addition. That's great.
Yeah, I love it. So we've got a couple of them on the books already. Some people have planned and booked these trips. They'll probably take a little bit longer to plan than your typical European trip, right? There's a lot more happening here. There's a lot of investment dependent on where your family history is. This could be in really small local towns. So it's a little bit of a commitment. Like it'll take some time to plan that out, but sometimes they can go quick too. So we've already got some on the books. So I can't wait until those clients actually hit the road and travel and get to do something like this, because that's when we really see just how life-changing something like this is for clients. So yeah, so I'm really excited.
Awesome. Yeah.
So without further ado, then let's go ahead and start talking about those exciting things. Let's talk inspiration. So what are a couple examples of things that are really really unique that you could do on your next trip with Kensington Tours? So Cindy, you'll recognize this slide, the first one that I'm going to talk about, because this was something that I arranged for one of Cindy's clients, and this was driving a Lamborghini or a Ferrari in Italy, in different regions around Italy that this can be experienced in. So Cindy's client had chosen to do the first bullet point that you'll see there. His vehicle of choice was the Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo. This can mean a lot of different things, because this is where the customization comes in. So we can take that vehicle and it can be yours for a full day of use. It can be yours for a half day of use, whatever it is that your price point's more comfortable at. But this particular client had full access to this vehicle for a full day of use. So there was a second vehicle that a director, what they call it, a director, drives in front, kind of blazes the trail, I guess, looks out for police radars, whatever it is that they're doing. I don't know, but blaze the trail, I guess, for clients to be able to drive at the speed that the car allows, and just have like a free and open road to be able to safely experience that thrill of that vehicle. This particular client as well, because with that full day use of the vehicle, they use the vehicle to drive to and from different to and from different car factories and museums. So they're all located pretty close together in northern Italy. So this client went to Lamborghini and did a factory tour there. They went to the Ferrari museum, and they went to the Pagani factory. So Cindy, you can attest, I guess, this client was pretty pleased with this experience.
Pretty pleased is putting it mildly. It totally made his trip. It was a 50th birthday present to himself, and they came to me and said, this is what we want to do. I came to you, took a little tweaking to get it just perfect, but in the end, he couldn't have been happier. It was absolutely amazing. They were just thrilled. They were just absolutely thrilled. His wife did not go in the car with him, but she wanted him to have the best experience all by himself, and he thoroughly enjoyed his day. So I can totally attest to the care and the thought that Kensington Tours and you, Brianna, especially put into the planning of this, because you didn't really let up until we had it perfect.
Yes.
We got it so perfect. They were so happy. It was an amazing experience, and I love working with you, and it was awesome. It just gives me chills when I think about it. So
yes, I
totally
remember.
made him happy.
Yeah, I remember this one did take a little bit of work because the car museums or the car factories in Italy can be a little bit finicky, and they're able to kind of just do whatever they want really in terms of meetings. And so some decided they were open and some decided they were closed. But we did everything we could to make sure that this client got to do what it was that they were hoping for. So
Yeah. And even after we had it all planned, I think, was it Ferrari or Lamborghini, decided to close for the day, and we had to switch it all around, but you made
yes.
it happen. And I will tell you, I have never worked with another company that has gone to the extent that you did for me and for my clients. So I love Kensington Tours.
It was worth it. It was worth every second. I knew just how much this trip meant to that client, and
Yes.
it was frustrating. This is what I mean when I say I am very invested in these trips. I see it as my own. Like it took us, a lot of work and dedication to plan this trip out. So yeah, when I think it was Ferrari, closed on the day that we were meant to have them visit, it just took some shifting, and I knew we could make it work. It just took a little bit of extra elbow grease and dedication. So it's this was a very satisfying one to see him come out. And it's honestly, like, this was exceptionally unique as well.
Mm-hmm.
No client has ever done what this client has done. You can go to those factories. Like if you, like, this was a Lamborghini, he chose Lamborghini over Ferrari. So you can go to the Lamborghini factory and like drive a lap around their racetrack, but to have the vehicle for a full day use was completely unprecedented, and this is the only client I've ever had do this particular experience. Nobody else has done anything like this before. So it's a perfect example, and it's a perfect example of what, he came to you and you came to us and said, this is what I want to do. And the sky is the limit, really. Like we can make it happen. So if there is any once in a lifetime bucket list item experiences for you that you want to do, bring it to us and we'll do everything we can to make that happen for you.
I absolutely agree with that. And when I told him that no one else had ever done that, it made him even more pleased that he got to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
He was
It's
thrilled.
very, very exclusive, right? Adds to the exclusivity. So
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. It was worth all the planning and everything. It was just perfect.
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was. So while this is a very big ticket item, there's a lot more that we can do that, maybe aren't so outrageous or costly for that matter, but are still really unique and fun and add a fun twist. And this would be one of my other favorite ones. And I guess we'll stick to the topic of cars just for a moment, because this can be added onto any city tour by vehicle in Berlin, for example, for an added charge. And that would be, instead of driving around, with your guide and driver in a regular vehicle, you would be driven around in this exceptionally rare 1967 Mercedes Benz. It's an original first series. It's got a 6-cylinder engine, 150 horsepower, beige leather upholstery, and an original Becker Grand Prix radio. Truly a beautiful automobile. I've added this onto a couple of different tours in Berlin, and even surprised some clients with it once. And these ladies just it was a group of ladies actually who were car fanatics, and they just had a time driving around Berlin in this vehicle, which people don't really realize is something that we can do for you. So this was a big favorite of mine. Another experience that is quite unique is in Spain, and this would be a submarine wine experience. So off the coast, the northern coast of Spain, for Bilbao, you can you'll go out on this boat, and you're going to experience wine that has been aged underwater, both in a submarine and that is like exposed to the elements. So what this would look like is you would have a private transfer to from your hotel to the pier. You would learn about the history and the technique of aging wine underwater. You then, and then that is also executed by a founding member of this wine society. You then board a boat and a cruise around the bay that will take you along the coast for a really beautiful ride before heading to the location of the underwater winery. So then you can see here in the picture on the left-hand side that your whole table with your private group is going to be set up, and you get to enjoy tastings of the different underwater wines that are paired with pinchos, which is a local specialty, like an appetizer. They're almost like little sandwich bites that are famous in this region of Spain. So this is another experience where I've only ever had one client go out and do this, but certainly possible for anybody else. But they loved it. Like they even also had, they had the same different wines that were of the same provider, but that weren't aged in the water versus were. They got to taste them side by side and taste the differences, and learn about why they do it this way. And it was, they were just completely floored about this experience. So this is a really fun one that people wouldn't normally even think is possible. Whoever even thinks about wine that's been aged in the ocean underwater? Nobody really, but something that we can offer in Spain. So a little off the beaten path.
That's awesome. I mean, I love wine and I love tasting wine. I never even knew that there was wine aged like that. That's pretty cool.
Exactly. So really fun one to bring to clients' attentions if wine and food and those really fun experiences are something that they want to experience on their trip. And lastly, to round out, I wanted to cover another favorite of mine. I wanted to cover somewhere that you could stay. And I don't specialize in Finland, but I know about this place, and I've just been waiting for the opportunity to go myself. And it's the Leven Inglut Hotel, which is located just outside of a famous ski resort town in Finland. So as you can see by this picture, it's just absolutely stunning. They have these 27 modern glass igloos with completely unobstructed north-facing views that you stay in. So this picture isn't at night, but during the night when all those aurora borealis and northern lights come out, you can imagine what it must be like to stay at
It
a
must be
property like this.
magical.
I can't, yeah, like even on the clear nights where the northern lights don't come out, like the stars that you see in this area, because it's located quite remote, the town that it's by, the ski resort town, is about 6.5 miles away, and it's just a small town, so it doesn't produce a lot of light out in the air. So because of this remoteness, it's very dark at night, and like the stars that you can see even are just breathtaking, and I can't even imagine what it's like to fall asleep there. And another one of those things that just makes you like you just can't wait to get out there and get traveling again. But they are
moments.
I know, right? It's a countdown, absolute countdown. So
Yeah.
but they offer this year round, so it's you might not experience like, northern lights if you were going in the summer, but if you were going, later on in the winter, you'll have a lot more of a better chance about it. But they do this really well. They have a wonderful restaurant on site that also is kind of like open air glass like this, where even when you're eating your meals at the restaurant, you are still taking in breathtaking views. So it's wonderful. And these are the types of experiences that you can have while you're there. Aside from your incredible stay, you can do reindeer safaris and husky dog sledding, snowmobiling, snowshoeing, and you can visit the Santa Claus Village, and of course, hunt for the famous Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis. So just the pictures alone are just incredible, and I can't imagine what it must be like to go and do these things in real life. Something we'll all strive towards when everything opens up. But that is it from me. I hope that everybody was able to get a sense of wanderlust from this, but also just have a little bit more of an idea of what Kensington is able to offer and what that would look like for everybody. So it's I hope that we can start planning more trips in the future and
Me too.
get some more people on the road. So we'll
Yeah.
Yeah,
one thing we can say about Kensington Tours is that no dream is too big or too small. You guys are amazing. You can make it happen. Like you said, the sky is the limit. I can totally attest to that, because I had kind of a odd request, and you made it happen for me. So
yeah, and that's not even while that was an incredible experience. That's not even the most outlandish that we have done. Like people can, people have come to us with some crazy things that I'm sure other people would look at it and be like, you're crazy. That's not possible. But it is possible. The sky's the limit. So if you can dream it, we can probably do it. So bring it to us.
And I would never go to anybody else either that wanted to do something just kind of wild and crazy, but it was appreciated, and my client will remember that trip for the rest of his life. So
yeah. Well, then, like I said, even outside of those crazy experiences, if you're just looking for a really spectacular trip where everything is catered to you, everything can be tweaked to your needs and your interests. So I think we can all agree that we are, with having this last year taken away from us in terms of travel, we're looking for more meaningful experiences, and I want my dollar to go a little bit farther in a trip that is memorable for me and money well spent, because now I know what it's like to not be able to go and do these things. So when I am able to finally hit the road again, I want everything I do to matter and to be memorable for me. So hopefully
totally customized for you.
Exactly.
It's the perfect thing. So
exactly. So So yeah,
I just loved your presentation, and
thank
I
you.
so appreciate you wanting to do this with me today. That was awesome.
Of course. Thank you for giving me the time even
Of
to do
course.
things like this.
Of course.
And I hope we can start planning a couple more trips soon.
Absolutely. Um, I don't even have anything else to say other than I loved it. And I love
Perfect.
working with you and the other people you've referred me to when they weren't within your specialty. Everybody's amazing and nice and so accommodating. So
Good.
Kensington Tours is tops in my book for sure.
Perfect. Well, you know where to find me if you have any other questions. And don't hesitate to reach out for anything that we can possibly help with. And we'll be in touch soon.
All right, sounds good. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, Cindy. You too. Enjoy that sunshine.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
Bye bye.